First of all, I want to thank Michelle. Oh, you went back there. Hi, Michelle. And Ken, Mark, rather, and getting off to a good start, for helping out this morning and leading our worship up to this point. For those who I've not met, my name is David Henritzy. I'm a retired Methodist pastor, member of this congregation, and I love this church. It's a great parish. I was ordained in 1970. When I think about it, it's hard to believe that it was that long ago. During that time, I've probably preached about the Good Samaritan more times than I can count. In fact, I think the last time I was up here, it was the Good Samaritan then as well. So here we are. I resisted the idea of going into a file cabinet and pulling out an old Good Samaritan sermon. Not fair to you and cheating, sort of. The challenge is to find something different to say after the story has been told so very many, many times. Let me just set the stage. Here's a quick review of the story Jesus told. A man was walking down a road, probably going to Damascus, when he was set upon by robbers. They beat him, took his clothing, left him for dead. Eventually, a person came by, walking. As luck would have it, a priest. But you know the story. He crossed the road to the other side to avoid contact with the beat-up, bleeding man. Next came a Levite, did the same thing. Members of the religious class, but not priests, sort of like deacons, we would call them today. And then the Samaritan. Many of us don't realize that the Samaritans were also Jewish. They followed a different version of the Pentateuch. There's a new word for you, perhaps. The Pentateuch is a word from Greek, penta. Think of the Pentagon in Washington. It refers to the first 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Tradition says that they were all written by Moses. And they contain the accounts of some of the oldest and most important documents in history. From them, we get the stories of Adam and Eve, Jacob and his brothers, the first code of law, the 10 Commandments, the story of Moses and the Pharaoh, priest, Levite, Samaritan. Not unlike today's Baptists, Catholics, and Methodists. We all say we worship the same God, and we do, but our methodology is different. So I was looking for insights that were new to me and realized that there was one right there. We all worship the same God. We express it differently, some with bells and whistles, some with silence, Methodists are famous, well known for our hymns and singing. The priest and the Levite were devout people who worshiped God but fell short in many respects, just as all of us. The next insight that I gained was that if we are authentic people of faith, we should treat all people with kindness and generosity. You've all heard the story about treating angels unawares. In a situation such as we've been describing, it could be that the unfortunate man was an angel who was delegated to display a heavenly truth to the Samaritan. And the Samaritan passed the test. He showed compassion on an unfortunate person instead of just walking by. Jesus said quite clearly that it is our responsibility to do the same. You could be treating an angel unaware. You could be treating an angel in disguise, or individuals through whom God is working. Or you could, without knowing it, be the angel. Another insight, and one that weighs heavily on my mind the last few days, is about the way we as a society and individually respond to the larger events of the world. Can't avoid thinking about those horrible fires in California a couple of months ago. Closer to the present, the horrors of the flooding that is happening right now in Texas. The news is filled with stories about people being swept away by raging water. I think the most moving thing that I've heard was a story about a camper, and by extrapolation, all the campers, who was required to write a letter home after the first week. And such is the timing that these letters are working their way through the post office now and will arrive at their parents' homes after the writer has been swept away. The tragedy is overwhelming. But it's not the end of the whole story. The news is also filled with stories of people who have left their homes all over Texas, homes in California and New Mexico and Virginia, to go to help. People giving up their own security to search through rubble for survivors or those who didn't. I take away something from that story, that the world is filled, in the midst of tragedy of whatever kind, filled with people who care about you, about our society, who care about the world. And therefore, we must treat everyone with kindness and respect as we never know the impact that our actions towards others might have. I can't afford saying this. God did not cause this tragedy. God created us, and God created rivers, and God gave us the ability to control the river. And this tragedy, in my opinion, is not some sort of punishment from God. Through the misfortune of an event such as this can be interpreted as recognizing the potential for God to work through ordinary people in our lives. And it reminds humankind how beautiful the world really is. Amen.